Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Pillar Sports. We have been finding a way and trying to get a way to do this live, actually live. We are trying to get into the live game. That is what we are trying to focus on. So make sure you guys are absolutely locked in with us. And hopefully we can get this to you guys all figured out to the right way, to the right format, and absolutely with the right colors. You get me? That is our goal, and that is what we want to get for you guys as we begin this new journey of making sure that we have all these things all set up for you. You get me? So first things first, we have to start. United's search for a number six alone has been a roller coaster this week. It has been a roller coaster this week. And for the fortunate thing about this situation is that things are absolutely looking up. They are looking up for us. You get me? It has been a roller coaster, a medical failure, a target who chose to stay put, two misses, two different signings to show for it. Preview in this particular situation, United rebuild, the manager reset for the top of the league. The Alvarez three-way war that we are seeing, Alejandro Garnacho's exit or second act, may say, in this situation. Well, we got a lot of stuff that we are going to be covering today, and the beautiful part about this situation is that when it comes to what we do here in Pillar Sports, we are reacting to it, and we will basically be giving you guys the full details about everything about this situation. Now, we are going to be starting with Youri Tielemans. Tielemans, because I believe this is the best part to start in this kind of situation. Youri Tielemans is in. He is in. He is at Manchester United. He has signed at the dotted line, and it's done. The deal runs to 2023. No, not 23, 2031. Villa couldn't keep him once United triggered his release clause, reported around 41 million euros. And of course, that is not just the person that we have in the field right now or in Carrington right now. We also have Andre Santos. Andre Santos already through the door, £50 million from Chelsea gives Carrick a genuine progressive number eight option alongside Tielemans. And that is the best part about this situation. He gives them a genuine progressive passer. These two players are truly good progressive passers, and that's the best part about this whole situation. The best part about the whole situation, honestly. But then you look at the Edison story because we cannot go when you look at this situation, when you look at it as a holistic nature or a holistic situation, what we see is that Manchester United are still lacking. We are still lacking, and that lack of players in that number six, especially, is truly going to be a difficult one for us. You get me? Ederson's story is real drama. That's where the real drama is. And I've said I was going to absolutely look into this situation, and hopefully I give you guys the details that a lot of people are not covering. You get me? A lot of people are not covering. United had a fee agreed around with Atalanta in the range of £35 million. 35 million pounds to 37 or 39 million pound range for the ball winning number six profile. They needed, after Casemiro exit, after he left, we needed somebody that would absolutely give those things to us. And then we pulled out of it. After the medicals flagged a knee concern in this situation, this is what is being reported. It flagged a knee concern in this situation. And so, what we have seen so many times that this particular thing has not stopped Man United, but has also stopped Man United. You get me? Those things have absolutely been troublesome for us in the past, and it has been troublesome for us in the nearest present day. Because if you look back, I think it was Paul Ince. Paul Ince had a problem with his knee. Is it his knee or his Achilles? One of the two. And Sir Alex basically was like, bro, just bring me a player because we can look at the situation and we know that this is not a player that gets injured. So just bring me him regardless of the what they call it says. The medical says. So he just said, bring me Paul Ince, and he was a success. He was a success. And the truth about it is that you look at the likes of what's his name, Matthias Delict, has a little bit of injury concern. Rasmus Højlund came into Manchester United with a back problem. Right now, Youri Tielemans has a hamstring injury. It is crystal clear. I don't know if you guys knew about this, but Youri Tielemans has a hamstring injury, and that is the reason why he did not complete the Belgium game. However, Man United looked at this whole situation and basically said, hamstring injury, we know when this thing is going to be healed. However, we can't really see anything structurally damaged in your knees, in your body, so they allowed the deal to go through. They allowed the deal to go through. Atlanta sporting director said the club was left stunned, and Atalanta are now working on a new deal to keep him rather than risk losing him for nothing next summer. Now, this particular situation is so weird because if you guys did not realize, I think it's John Mehta, the former Manchester United sporting director, that is the sporting director now for Atalanta. And so that's what he said. Um, but this miss absolutely matters too because Tchouaméni was heavily linked, but now he looks set to sign a new deal with Real Madrid. You understand? He has committed his long-term future to Real Madrid instead. United also missed out on Mateus Fernandes and Sandro Tonali. You get me? Which, when you look at things at the whole top of things or the whole full circle moment, Tottenham Hotspur spent about £185 million on those two players, in Sandro Tonali and Matheus Fernandes, while Manchester United spent £85 million on Andre Santos and Youri Tielemans. And the difference between quality, I would argue that it's not very far apart. I think Sandro Tonali is definitely a lot better than what we have in those two players. However, Andre Santos is someone that would absolutely grow, and I've seen a glimpse of what he could do in Strasbourg. When we first signed Andre Santos, I wasn't a big fan of the move because I just haven't seen the player and what we need from Manchester United or what we need based on the ambition of what we want our club to do is totally more than Andre Santos. That was my thought process. However, I went back and I watched some few games, some comps of Andre Santos in Strasbourg, and I was impressed. He was in Strasbourg on loan and was captaining them for some reason. And it was so impressive for what he was able to do. He went in there with 10, or he left Strasbourg with 10 goals and 3 assists. And this was someone that played as an 8, played as sometimes a 10 for Strasbourg. And we know that he is a number 6 or progressive deep line playmaker in that situation. So he has that ability to be versatile in this midfield. Now, we all know that the reports came out after that last season that Michael Carrick is looking to make sure that these players, especially in the midfield, has the fluidity of Paris Saint-Germain. And every single person thought, I think that's a stretch. It's a stretch too far for Manchester United, especially coming back from us rebuilding. You get me? Coming back from us finishing 15th. We said that was way too far for way too soon. You get me? That was what we spoke about. However, what we are seeing, the situations or what they are deciding to do is absolutely falling into the plan. Because when you look at Paris Saint-Germain's midfield, you are looking at all versatile players. Vertinia, versatile. João Neves, versatile. Fabian Ruiz, absolutely versatile. Now, these are players that both can do the defensive work, can do the offensive work, and can do the dirty work. And those are the things that I believe Manchester United and Michael Carrick are looking to repeat or to copy in this situation. Now, would Sandro Tonali would have worked? Absolutely. Would Mateus Fernandes would have worked? Absolutely. However, this situation does not give me the feeling of what would I say of panic. It's not the feeling of we went for De Jong for the entire summer and then we pivot to go get Casemiro that is a total different type of player. It's not that. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like we are sticking to what we have seen and we have basically decided this is the type of player, this is the type of profile that we are going to use. Let me read some comments. Neil says Tielemans and Santos, good value for the price. Absolutely. Absolutely very good value for the price based on what I have seen so far. And I've been talking about Andre Santos in this particular segment here, and it's absolutely spot on for me. But I've also made a lot of videos talking about Baleba. I've also spoken about Baleba because when you have Andre Santos that is not very athletic, dare would I say, if this man doesn't work out every day, he might just be pudgy. And that's not any disrespect to him. He is a talented player and he's also an athlete. And then you look at Youri Tielemans. Youri Tielemans is not the fastest of players. Neil also says Baleba next. I hope so. I really hope so. But what we are hearing is not really Baleba. That's the disappointing part. It's not really Baleba next. What we are hearing is Manu Kone. And that is, it scares me. It truly scares me. Not because Manu Kone is not a player, but because Manu Kone has a knack of being injured so many times. You might say he's not injury prone, but I look at his situation, missing 50 games in 3 seasons is absolutely is insane to me. Bear in mind, a season in the Premier League is 38 games. So in 3 seasons, you miss 50 games. That is not a good turnover. That is not a good turnover. And what that signifies to me is a player that would get injured and he might lose the athleticism. He might lose the burst of pace. We might have to wait a couple of days or a couple of weeks for us to get a burst of pace from Manu Kone. That is what it scares me. But the truth about it is that that leads us now to talking about Manu Kone. But before we go into that, we talk about the side plot that I basically figured or I saw today. The side plot is we have some cash coming in from Mason Greenwood. His move from Marseille to Fenerbahce, which was reported to be 39 million euros, which was a trigger, which triggers a sell-on clause worth to United around roughly 12 million euros, if I'm not mistaken. And in that particular one, the question is like, we have 12 million euros. We did not spend, or we spent very, very conservatively when it comes to Andre Santos and Youri Tielemans. Now the question is, what are we going to do with that money and go next? And this is where Manu Kone comes into the situation. A bid is reportedly being readied for Roma's Manu Kone, and of course we know that Wolves has definitely moved to Aston Villa. And I don't know where the conversation here kept on going about Wolves coming to Manchester United. I think Manchester United had walked away from João Gomes a long time ago. We have walked away from João Gomes. I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good player. But when we get Andre Santos and Youri Tielemans, we cannot get João Gomes. That is too small of a midfield. We will get dominated and eaten alive in the Premier League. Eaten alive. And that right there is not something that we want at all. That's not something we want at all. Now, don't get me wrong, this season so far, the Premier League season or the transfer window that Manchester United have had so far is less than ideal. It's less than ideal. It's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted, but we can still save this situation by bringing in Baleba. I know a lot of people are not friends of Baleba anymore. But I'm telling you this, I've literally said this, and I'm going to stick to my beliefs in this situation. Baleba is just as talented. We are looking at a world-class talent in Baleba. Now it's a potential, and so things can fall array or fall to the side. But I believe Baleba is truly a master at his class, a master at what he does. What we saw last season was truly a blip to me. It was a blip. But a lot of people will not give him the credit. In fact, Manchester United is reported. I think Dave Ornstein had said something about Manchester United not really going to spend that amount of money on a young person or a young talent that did not have the greatest of seasons. They're not going to spend that amount of money. But the truth about it is that look, Baleba is a baller. Let me give you a story. In high school when I was playing for my school team, we usually would have this situation called JSS 1 versus JSS 2. Jesus 1 versus Jesus 2, and you face each other, and whoever wins kind of have bragging rights in that situation. If you ever went to a boarding school, you know that that's a big thing. You get me? Getting bragging rights over your older class is a big thing. And so, in my year one in secondary school, we had a big game. It was Jesus 1 versus Jesus 2, and we won. Jesus 1 won against Jesus 2, and it was a true magnifying moment. But the truth about that situation was the next games that I played for my class in that particular time, it just felt I wasn't doing the things that I usually would do. I wasn't giving the passes. I wasn't scoring the goals. Things were not just falling into place. And a lot of people understood it was because I had such a big moment in my first game, in the first big game for my class at that particular moment, that I literally let it get into my head. And that was when I was literally like 15, 14, 15. And that literally tells you, and I know Carlos Baleba is not 14 or 15, but I'm using that as an example for you guys to understand that, look, he is a young player. He's a young person. And when a big club like Manchester United is coming for your services and you do not get to go, every single thing in you is talking about what if. Every single thing about you playing in that season is talking about what if. What if I made it? What if they allowed me to go to Manchester United? What would I have been doing? Every time Man United win or lose, or I having a problem with that number 6 position, you're thinking, what would I have done if I was there? Those things absolutely turn your heads. And so for people to absolutely look at Baleba now and think he's trash is just mind blowing to me. Because I think when you're looking at the best number 6s in the Premier League right now, Carlos Baleba is in top 10. He's in top 10 in the best number 6s. He's actually, from my own personal point of view, he is the best out of the rest in the Premier League. Out of the rest, top 6. He is the best number 6 in the rest of the league. Can somebody tell me someone different? Let's have the argument. Let's have the conversation in the chat. That's what this is for. Let's have the conversation. Name somebody apart from the top 6 that is better in that position, that has had a better season than Carlos Baleba. And I'm not talking about, just give me one season of somebody doing that. And I'll bring Carlos Baleba season in 2024, 2025. And I would absolutely blow you out the water. That is the player that all of a sudden United fans are turning their nose at. It blows my mind every single time. It blows my freaking mind. It blows my mind. But let's go into the next situation because I can stay here and talk about Carlos Baleba till I'm blue in the face. But now let's look at the big manager reset. You understand? So every traditional big 6 club walked into the window with a new manager. Every traditional big 6 walked into the new season, into the new transfer window with a new manager. Manchester City had Guardiola gone. Enzo Maresca now in the dugout. City almost or also broke their own transfer record for Elliot Anderson at 116 million pounds from Forest. Worth noting, United were credited with interest in Elliot Anderson. We all know that for sure. United wanted the guy. The guy was just too expensive, and he wanted Manchester City anyway. So we moved on. Liverpool sacked Arne Slot. Arne Slot was out after a rough title defense, and then Adoni Ariola is in from Bournemouth. If you guys know and you guys have been watching the channel, I've been speaking about Adoni Ariola going to Liverpool for the longest time. To me personally, he is the perfect prototype of what we saw in Jurgen Klopp. He is the closest thing to Jurgen Klopp that I've seen in a long time. Adoni Ariola is the closest thing. And then you look at Chelsea. Chelsea recycled through managers throughout last season. You saw Maresca and then interim Liam Rosinho, and then you got McFlurry. I've forgotten his name, but this guy called him McFlurry, and it has just been stuck in my head for the longest time. And now they have Xavi Alonso. And Xavi Alonso absolutely is a good manager. what he did in Bayer Leverkusen, what he even did in Real Madrid, especially when you look back at it when he got fired and you saw how Real Madrid absolutely fell to their knees. You see Xavi Alonso in a good light right now. And of course, you have Michael Carrick, his own very own first full summer in a permanent charge versus the other three. You understand? Versus the other three approaches. Michael Carrick has an opportunity to absolutely go into the situation right now and basically make the best of it. This is an opportunity that Man United might not get for another 10 years. But the question is, which of these four looks the best setup right now? That is the question. Where does Michael Carrick and United's rank among them? That's the question. And I need you guys to come into the chat and drop it down in the chat based on the rebuild. So Chelsea's rebuild, Liverpool's rebuild, Manchester City's rebuild. Because Manchester City, whether we like it or not, I understand it's not really a rebuild, but this is a new manager, and the new manager is going to be bringing new styles, new ideas, and just new everything in that situation. But let's now go into Julián Álvarez scandal because it's a three-way from hell. It's literally a three-way. It's a je ne sais quoi. It's a threesome from what we do not even want to see. Because what we are seeing from Julián Álvarez and what we are seeing from the likes of Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal now, it's insane. And apparently we are hearing also Chelsea. I'm not sure about the Chelsea links, but I'm also going to break it down also here. So it is reported that Arsenal are pushing to get it done before preseason starts around July 20th. This is Julián Álvarez we are speaking on. Chelsea have come back in with a bigger offer, reportedly near 106 million. That's what we're hearing about the Julián Álvarez situation. However, Barcelona remain Álvarez's stated preference, but Atletico Madrid will not sell to a direct rival. They do not want to do it. Barcelona have basically flirted with the idea of paying around 150, which is mind-blowing. However, Atletico Madrid have just told them, look, his release clause on his contract is 500 million pounds. You pay that or you keep it pushing. You pay that or you keep it flipping pushing. You get me? Arsenal's spending this summer is already close to around 416 million euros as they enter into the next season as defending champs. And this situation is, how can Manchester United absolutely cover the gap that we are seeing? That's the question. How can Manchester United cover the gap that we have? The gap that Arsenal gave us. The gap that Manchester City gave us. That is the question. And the truth about it is that it's get really difficult to see the way we are moving, the way Arsenal is moving, for us to say we are close to even becoming a challenger. It is difficult. Because I love Andre Santos signing now. I love Youri Tielemans signing. But the question is, does those signings give us does it move a huge needle towards Arsenal? Or do we just get competitive? Do we just give ourselves a little bit of a jump from where we are for us to be more competitive when it comes to the Champions League places? Because if you're looking at us becoming champions next year, and I'm talking about Manchester United when I'm saying us, this doesn't feel big enough. It doesn't feel it doesn't raise the ceiling as much as I want it to. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore Youri Tielemans. And I've been saying it ever since he left Leicester City. In fact, before he even joined Leicester City, he was on loan from AS Monaco to Leicester City. And I've been talking about Youri Tielemans from that moment, especially when he left Anderlecht to join AS Monaco. I looked at him and I was like, good God, this guy could absolutely be a Pogba assistant or a Pogba player or someone that could absolutely play with Pogba. But then it did not happen. It did not happen. He went to Leicester City. He went back to Monaco because that was a loan. And before he could sign with Leicester City, he waited because Manchester United had looked at him a little bit more, but did not absolutely bite. So he went to Leicester City. And going to Leicester City, he had a beautiful career, winning the FA Cup. But then after Leicester City got relegated, he moved to Aston Villa on a free transfer. And that was another opportunity for us to get him, a younger player. But now he's still here, so let's not complain about it. But the fact of what I was trying to say is that Manchester United's moves so far, yes, it is floor raising, but it definitely doesn't raise the ceiling so far. Let's read Neil. Neil says, like you said, Baleba had his head turned. I think if he ends up at United, he will make a lot of United fans eat humble pie, which can only be good for fans, the team, the club. 70 million gets him. Honestly, I need I need these things to happen. I need Baleba to Manchester United take a punt. I understand the transfer window right now is inflated, but take a punt. 70 million pounds for Carlos Baleba, like Neil, my man, says, would absolutely get this deal done. And I believe I need you guys to understand who we are talking about. Carlos Baleba is coming from prime stock. And this is not me talking about him as if he's a stud in a dairy farm. I'm not speaking about him but like that. I'm talking about his father played professional football. This is a player that has been literally trained since he came out of the womb. I don't know if you guys know the the what do you call it? The viral sound from Angry Ginge that he says, I've been a Manchester United fan since the moment I came out of my mom's vagina. And and I was a United fan. The moment I came out of my mom's whatever, I was like, United, United, United. But the truth about what I'm trying to say in this situation, I know that's a tangent and a crazy tangent at that, is that Carlos Baleba has been has been training to be a professional footballer since he was a kid, since he was a baby. I know every single person has been doing that too, but he has someone that can absolutely say, this is the way you do it, this is not the way you do it. And so this man has fully been focused on football his whole time. This is Yaya Toure-esque type of signing. I need you guys to understand this. This is Yaya Toure-esque type of signing. You give this guy a chance and it would absolutely happen. Neil, thank you for the comments, man. This is absolutely the kind of comments that I absolutely want. Something that would get the conversation going. Keep it coming, please. So that's the thing. I really do want Baleba to come into the situation. In my mind, he is absolutely perfect for what we have and what we need right now. We have Youri Tielemans, someone that is a really good technical player on the ball, but off the ball doesn't give you as much, doesn't cover as much grass. Sam, the same thing with Andre Santos, has the technical ability to break the lines, progressive passer. However, that ability, that no nonsense player, that player that would go from left to right, from north to south in a split second, is what we need. And Baleba is that guy. He is that guy. I believe Manchester United do not, they have to go get him. It's a must. At this point, it's a must. Now let's go into the next situation. I think that is going to be Garnacho. Garnacho's second act apparently is not working out well. Man United sold Garnacho last summer for £40 million. Um, and he failed to make the impact that was expected. He failed to make the impact that he was expected. And now apparently he has been AWOL from what do you call it? Preseason training. I'm not sure about that. I don't really keep up with Garnacho anymore. However, he is a talented player and he's someone that I've absolutely appreciated. When he was at Manchester United, he was one of my favorite players to watch. But a lot of things have just clouded the boy's mind. And when I say the boy, because he's 20 something, he's still a young cat. He's still a young guy. And it has just clouded his mind so much that I look at Garnacho and I'm like, my goodness, bro, keep the main thing the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. I was so happy when I saw him have a kid with his long-term partner. I was thinking, oh, this is going to mature Garnacho. But I don't know if it has done the intended effect for me. New Chelsea boss has confirmed that he is available this summer. Alejandro Garnacho, somebody that at one point in time at Manchester United was looked as the next coming of Cristiano Ronaldo. He was looked at the next person to wear the number 7 shirt. 1 year at Chelsea, he's already on the chopping block for a transfer window, for a transfer. It is truly disappointing. But the truth about this situation is that we know he has talent. And so Napoli, Juventus, AC Milan are all credited with interest. They're looking at Garnacho. And Chelsea, in that situation, look and reportedly want around 50 million euros, which is around 42.6 million pounds. They need to get on a profit. They need to get a profit. That is one thing that Chelsea are going to always do. Find a way to get a profit. United still hold a sell-on clause in that situation. So there is a direct financial stake in where he ends up next. I think that was also reported. So Manchester United, I believe, have a financial stake in Garnacho being sold somewhere else. I don't know how much percent the sell-on clause is, but hey, the truth I just know is vindication for selling him. It, that's the thing you have to ask yourself. Is this vindication for selling Garnacho to Chelsea, or was he mismanaged elsewhere? Because you can't say he was mismanaged at Manchester United because he played football. He was playing every single time. He was one of the people that got that Rashford treatment, that played football, just kept on playing and kept on playing and kept on playing at a young age. Maybe that was what caused all these problems. Because if he was calmed down and actually walked through getting minutes here, minutes there, playing a Carabao Cup match, playing an FA Cup match, coming off the bench in the 70th minute in the Premier League, then I would understand that. However, things just get really, it just got really, really testy. You get me? But let me know what you guys think about it in the chat. Now, this is a quick fire situation, just so you guys know. We give you guys the quick fire roundup in this situation. So, Leandro Trossard is closing in a deal on a move to Besiktas. I think the deal is already done. It is for 20 million euros. Aston Villa beat Newcastle to Johan Manzambi for 60 plus million euros. Marco Correa, of course, have left Chelsea to join Real Madrid for also 60 plus million pounds. But of course, this is Pillar Sports, so we are absolutely going to bring in a little bit of NBA check-in too, just for people that love the NBA also. LeBron James has told the Lakers he is not returning. So what we have right now is the Warriors, the Sixers, the Knicks, the Celtics are all in the mix for LeBron James services. We also heard Cleveland Cavaliers is looking at him. We also heard Miami Miami Heat are also looking at him too. So all this situation is going to kick on with that particular one. DeAndre Ayton traded from the Lakers to the Wizards for Jaden Hardy and 2 second rounders. That's insane. For them to absolutely give 2 second rounders for DeAndre Ayton, I don't know what it is, because that guy ambition is absolutely in the ground. Celtics engaging in talks. We have already seen that Jaylen Brown has been traded to the 76ers, and that kind of gives what they call it. It gives the 76ers an opportunity to land LeBron James, because that is just a system and that is just a place that just fits perfectly for him. He goes in there, even though Joel Embiid needs the ball, Jaylen Brown needs the ball, Tyrese Maxey needs the ball, VJ Edgecombe needs the ball, but just having LeBron James to just say, your turn, your turn, your turn, your turn, absolutely makes perfect sense. Now let's go into Wembenyama's 5-year new deal, because he just signed a 252 million pound or $1 million rookie max deal. We also see Mitchell sign a 4-year 273 extension. Both are locked in. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. It's insane. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We have been live for over 34 minutes. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button and commenting down below what you want us to talk about. We are going to be giving you guys lives. We are going to be trying to be doing it every single day. but we are trying to get, when will you guys when would you guys want us to give um a flagship, what do you call it, when will you guys want us to give a flagship situation, like a flagship show? Comment it down below. I want you guys to let us know. A flagship show is what we are looking at. We want to be getting the right time, the right timing for a flagship show for you guys. So make sure you guys are locked in. Let us know what time and what day a flagship show for the channel will be good for you, and that's where we'll start the flagship show. All right, so just to give you guys a recap on everything that we spoke about right now, but before we go ahead to give the recap, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, we are going to be talking about the World Cup final next. So do not mistake, or don't make the mistake of not hitting that subscribe button, because trust me when I say this, the World Cup is heating up, and we are absolutely bringing you guys absolutely direct reactions, watch alongs, and everything. You get me? So we will be talking about, of course, the Ederson situation. We spoke about the Ederson situation. We spoke about Youri Tielemans. We spoke about Andre Santos. We spoke about every single person in this situation. So make sure you guys hit that follow button and lock down every single thing that we spoke about. Turn your notifications. Watch the video in full. Give me your take on everything that we spoke about. I want to hear from you guys without fail. I reply in the comments every single time. So make sure you guys are locked in that situation, because we would be having conversations, full-blown conversations in the comment section. So make sure you guys do the rest one, and you have a lovely day. Have a great one. And for people that have suffering from the smoke in Canada, hopefully you guys are all safe and sound. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys. Peace.